for the stream. I would like to apologize for any background noise you hear. Somebody who lives with me listens to their TV at a ridiculously loud level. Testing. Testing. One moment. I'm gonna see if I can get that to turn down just a little. Okay, I shouldn't be able to hear that now, I believe. So that should be good to go. Hello and welcome back to Fortnite. I know it's been a while since I streamed, and even though I have the weekends off, I missed the last event. Though I have to say I watched the event, it's kind of meh. It wasn't like a huge event, so nothing I was concerned I lost. I usually like to visit all the events, but this one lacked some of the nice up close in game experience for more of a floaty uh, watch it from far away experience, which sometimes happens. I prefer the experience if you're in the middle of the event than the when you're watching it, or if you're at least watching it instead of having us float around and not that involved in it. Um, do something cool like have us on a platform, like during the the fight with the monster in Chapter One. That said, sorry. We are today, or I think it's today or the other day. I don't know if it's today's the first day, I guess today's the first day, but whatever. We are kicking off Chapter 6, Season 2. But there's a reason why I have not been coming in here to stream much, even with Saturdays off, other than I'm hanging out with family. And we're going to get a little political here right at the beginning. So I apologize. Anybody that doesn't want to listen to political BS, wait till I scroll away from this Midas thing and start the video. As soon as that happens, we're getting to the actual meat of Fortnite Chapter 6 Season 2, which we'll go through for the few hours. Well, first, politics. So here we go. As you know, our government is currently being run by white supremacists, Nazis, Confederates, maggots, whatever you want to call them. They're bad people. And more recently, Trump's evil little crew of people have been pressing for pro-white supremacy, anti-queer policies, especially the erasure of trans people, which I do not stand for. What happened to my thing? Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm still streaming. My stream thing just shut down on my phone. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm still... I am. So, one of the things he's targeted is DEI policies. In the backwards, evil little minds of white supremacists, DEI policies, as they say it, are there to hire unqualified non-white people, force companies to hire unqualified non-white people into the folds of their companies. That's what white supremacists, like every single Republican that currently exists, apparently, like to say about DEI. That is not what DEI is. DEI is there to protect that non-white people can be hired by a company because they do qualify it. It doesn't force you to hire someone who is unqualified. It forces you to hire more than just white people. It protects the country from having white supremacist goals of corporations. Hey, we have a raccoon outside again. Mello, your raccoon friends are back. Where you at? Different where Mello is. Then that is period. That's all DEI is. So yeah. In fact, a good representative of anti-DEI is the African American in the government who is running some of the lawmaking stuff, which is fired by Trump. And in his place, a completely unqualified white person was placed. That is what anti-DEI is. So, and that's what the Nazi government wants. Complete white supremacy, complete cis supremacy, complete anti-queerism, evangelists rule. And yes, I'm going to say evangelists because evangelist is the evil side of Christianity that is pushing this kind of government. They are bad guys, bad people, a bad religion, holy. They're the people behind Chick-fil-A. They're people behind the anti-trans genocide and anti-queer genocide over in Africa. It's a bad group of religions. And just because they have Christ in the religion doesn't make them good people. That said, again, one of the big targets here recently is anti-DEI policies or destroying these DEI policies. And corporations have one of two choices. They can stand up to the actual Nazi government and say, no, we're not going to end our anti-racist policies, and we're not going to just give in to your demands, and you can go frick yourself, you fat orange blob. Or they can roll over for the Nazis and just do as they're told. Follow their marching orders, as it were. Just like people were following marching orders back in World War II. They say, oh, we're just following our orders. And say, murdered people. Burn books. Don't follow marching orders. If you're a corporation and you're stuck on the sideline of whether or not to end DEI policies, do what is right, not what you're told. That said, one of the groups that ended DEI policies, and one of the groups that just fully embraced all this BS Nazism, was Google, the owner of YouTube, which is why I was debating whether to come back on here. But I thought as long as I call them out every time I play as racists and anti-queer piles of garbage, I can maybe play on their platform as long as I notate how evil and wrong they are. So we're going to go through a list of companies here that are pro-Nazi or at least following Nazi orders. But Google is going to start because I'm here on their platform and they have done some of the worst so far, just as far as corporations can go. Google not only started shutting down its DEI policies and was one of the first. Google started removing cultural awareness from their calendars. This wasn't something that cost anything. It was something that was automated. It was something that doesn't save them money by removing it, but they did it. They removed Black History Month. They removed other cultural awareness months. They removed Pride Month from their calendars, from their notifications, from their celebrations. Why? Because apparently a Nazi runs the corporation, or a group of Nazis run the corporation. I'm unclear on who the evil bastard is behind the curtain there. But that is something that needs to be noted every time you YouTube, every time you play on YouTube, every time you stream on YouTube. If you're a good person, you're anti-Nazi, you're anti-racist, you're pro-queer, you're pro-trans, make sure that even though you are platforming on YouTube, people know that YouTube is an evil pile of garbage. And they need to be called out for it. And they're not the only one. So I followed this group on Facebook. Their name is simply Conservatives Are Evil. I've talked about them before. They used to be back on Twitter /X or X-Twitter, whatever I call it, but everybody left Twitter. I don't use Twitter. They don't use Twitter. Nobody uses Twitter. Facebook might be following that suit soon. I have stopped posting I primarily stopped posting on Facebook. I'm pretty much on Blue Sky at all now. If you want future updates from me, go to Blue Sky under Joshua Winters, and you'll find me. My Sephiroth TX page will be dead. My writing page may have a few things once I finally release my book. That's about it. I keep my family page up just to contact with family and keep some old pictures I have in there. That's it. But here is the post from Conservatives Are Evil. If you're anti-DEI, you're pro-racist and anti-queer. If you follow Nazi orders, you are pro-Nazi. All companies dumping DEI should be defunded, broke, boycotted, in whole until the destruction of said company. Here's a list of racist, anti-queer, Nazi order-loving companies. The first company they list is Pepsi, also known as PepsiCo. The owners of course, Pepsi, as well as a bunch of other sodas and some food products. If you get a food, check on the back to see if it is Pepsi. If it is, don't get the food. PepsiCo It doesn't say anything they did, but so they must just be doing the anti-DEI thing. The next one they mention is J.P. Morgan Chase, which is quote-unquote rewarding is DEI to no longer be DEI. They recommend withdrawing your money from Chase and choosing a bank that is more or less Nazi friendly. The next one they mention is Disney, also Disney Plus. Disney Plus is trying to quietly reorganize its diversity programs, thus pretend it's not killing DEI, but the fact that is that it has edited its content warnings to no longer point out racism as wrong, says it all. End your Disney subs, dump Disney, Fox, and Marvel products, don't buy Disney toys, don't go to the Disney parks, don't buy any Disney games, and don't watch any more Disney, Marvel, or Fox movies. So, in relative simplicity, what he's talking about here, what they're talking about here, I don't know if it's a he, is that Disney a while ago started putting content warnings on older movies where the content was questionable or outright racist. And within the content, it said this racism, for example, was never and is not okay. They removed that part, calling racism or anti-queer hate or anything like that as not okay. They'll still mention that this video might be racist, but they won't mention racism as not okay anymore. That's Disney Plus or Disney rolling over for the racist government. PBS, the program that runs kids shows, mind you, has shuttered its DEI in whole, firing those who work for the program. A education and children TV show shouldn't adhere to Nazi ideology. Avoid the programming with your children. Or, honestly, find older programming of theirs prior to that, though I would recommend bootlegging it so they don't make any money. They do mention Google here. It says Google and thus YouTube not only ended DEI but erased cultural months from their programs, such as Black History and Pride Month, because apparently their owners are full-on Nazis. Their complete embrace of Nazi ideals is disturbing, and they should be avoided at all costs. They mention GM, which removed references to diversity, Chipotle, General Electric, Intel, PayPal, Comcast. Then they mention Chick-fil-A. Here says Chick-fil-A, prior to this, already funded Nazi evangelical anti-queer pro-hate programs, included funding African genocidal policies. They mention something called a censure. I'm not sure what that is. They mention Amazon, which is not surprising considering its owner Bezos has been rubbing arms with other Nazis, such as Musk and Zuckerberg. He mentions Twitter, SpaceX, and Tesla, because of course it's owned by Musk, the saluter. And Trump worshiper plus Trump puppeteer. He mentions Facebook and Meta, who is owned by Zuckerberg, who has noted a stop and removal of racist, queerphobic content and content watching for false information, an effort to promote free speech, just like Musk's X. He has been seen rubbing elbows with other Nazis, such as Musk. He mentions that leaves pretty much Blue Sky as the only good, semi-popular social program to go to, by the way. Hopefully, their owners are jerks. They mention Amtrak, the train company, Smithsonian Institute,